And I can't help but think that if we participate with God in God's redemptive, healing, reconciling work, then whatever happens after we die is going to be okay. But if we become so preoccupied with, our own little eternal outcome so that we don't care about what God's doing in this world, we don't join in it, that could be pretty counterproductive.
Creation and evolution are really important topics for Christians to talk about, and I believe in both of them, creation and evolution.
I speak of the Bible as a lens through which we see God.
Jesus was a mystic. Jesus understood the profound unitive experience.
He called us to be relentless, to be nonviolent, and to resist.
The Christian life is a journey, and people ought to enjoy the journey. The people that think they've arrived are the ones that always get us in trouble.
And it seems the further along I get, the less I know. And I've been in church all my life. I turned 51 on my last birthday, and you would think that by now I would know some things more than I do, but truthfully, I am knowing less and less about the one answer to every question. But I can tell you another thing. I have more peace than I've ever had in my life. I'm more secure, even though I'm filled with more questions. I'm more at ease in my relationship with God. And I tell you something else, I'm not ashamed and I'm not afraid.
The dimensions of emerging progressive Christianity include a deeper sense of connection with God, that the Bible is an important document that shapes our spiritual lives and that we want to know its stories and we want our children to know its stories.
The church in North America today, especially the Protestant church, is deeply divided. And the single most divisive issue is the Bible, whether the Bible is to be seen as a divine product, the inerrant and infallible words of God, or whether it is to be seen as a human product, the product of these ancient communities.
It's written by people and they made mistakes, so it's not inerrant. There are certainly errors in here, but it's still inspired, and it becomes God's word for us when it tells us who we are and who God is and comes to life for us.
The Bible is an act of faithful imagination. It is not a package of certitudes. It is an act of imagination that invites our faithful imagination that makes it possible to live faithfully.
My theology began to evolve to the point at which I realized that it is God's will, that we are the arms and the hands and the heart of Jesus in the earth, that justice work is very close to the heart of God.
I've come to discover the reason Jesus was a threat to both Rome and the religious hierarchy of the day. He inaugurated a community that was so radical it threatened everybody.
They asked Gandhi, what's the difference between you and most Christians? And Gandhi said quietly, well, I think he meant it. I love that quote because I read it all those years and didn't really understand that when he said, love your enemies, he meant it. When he said, if you're rich, beware, he meant it. When he said, care for the poor, care for the hungry, care for the lost, care for the outcast, he meant it.
We're all kin. We're all interdependent. And that's the basis of compassion, which is Jesus' ultimate teaching.
Jesus came to bring to us the same Spirit of God that he embodied in the flesh. As Athanasius says, he became human so we might become divine.
The life of a Christian person is to find practices that take us closer and closer to union with God, to the heart of God. We find all kinds of ways to do that, but the process of faith, I think, is trial and error and is risk-taking. That God tends to lead us to places that challenge us and that are painful and difficult, and life takes us to places that are shattering. And faith is that we will survive that place, and we will be better and larger and more compassionate people.